So, I've made this little live. It's not going to be long. Because I just feel like I've got to get this off my chest since what happened on Saturday happened. Now, they're calling it not. It's not a terrorist attack, but it is, isn't it? We know it is. We know it's some sort of terrorist attack, um, and they're trying to now bring a terrorist attack into different categories. And I think, well, they need to do that, right? There'll be a lot of you don't agree with that, but they need to do that. The government know they need to do that because the government know what's going on in the mental health service. The government are very aware of the people that they're deeming safe to walk these streets of ours with mental health problems when they're not. The government are very aware. That's why when Southpaw happened, it couldn't be deemed a terrorist attack that we all understand. But it was like to guarantee that that animal was known to the mental health service. And before that, there was the white guy who was running around with some sort of machete and murdered that 14-year-old who was on his way to school. Guarantee he was known to the mental health service. And this is because of care in the community, right? What's happening? What's happening? And I hate to do this, and I hate to say it, but what's happening is people are given these antipsychotic drugs, and these drugs on their own have their own side effects. I mean, most of the antipsychotic drugs will give somebody suicidal thoughts or anger or rage or something, right? Yet look, I will tell you a story, right? 2 weeks ago, a friend of mine was sectioned, right? Put into a psych unit, and she was sectioned under Section 2 of the Mental Health Act, right? Because she kept trying to kill herself. Now, I ring the hospital the next day, and they tell me, oh, she's out on leave. I went, what do you mean she's out on leave? She's on a section. Yes, but she can go to the shop with a trusted person, like a nurse. So I hang up. I think, oh, right, fine, fair enough. But this person I'm talking about isn't dangerous in any way, right? So you've got to remember this. So she's not dangerous. She's not well. So then Thursday night comes, and this person absconds. Now, the hospital, the psych unit, ring me and ask me if said person is with me. I went, well, no, they're with you. No, they were let out at 7, but didn't come back when they were meant to, and now they've been missing for 2 hours. 2 whole hours, right? So I said, but she's on a section. She's not meant to be out. Oh, no, we let them out and she hasn't come back. I said, well, where is she? Well, we don't know. We were hoping you could tell us in their broken English, because they barely, and none of them, none of the nurses, none of the doctors, none of the psychiatrists can barely speak English, right? So this is at 9 o'clock at night. By 10 o'clock, I've tracked her down by phone, and I'm talking to her. I know exactly where she is and who she's with, and I'm playing the negotiator. I'm playing the negotiator for an hour and a half as I talk her into a taxi, and then I talk her into going back to the hospital, right? And in the meantime, the hospital is doing fuck all, nothing. But remember, she's a patient that has been sectioned, right? So then somebody else rings the hospital and says, "Have you told the police?" Well, we're going to tell the police now, and they'll have to go and look for her. And all I can say is, it's a good job we didn't rely on the hospital or the police, because 3 hours in, they still hadn't found her. I'd found her. I knew exactly where she was, and I was busy trying to get her into a taxi. So she gets in the taxi. She tells the taxi where to go, and all the time I'm on the phone playing the good negotiator, free of fucking charge, by the way, free of charge, playing the good negotiator. She gets out the taxi, I pay for the taxi. She walks up to the hospital thing door. She's got to press a bell, right? Because it's after a certain time. By now, I mean, it's what, 12 o'clock at night. She's pressing this buzzer, right? And nobody is coming to answer the buzzer. Nobody. So she says, "There's nobody answering the buzzer, that I can't, literally, I can't get in." So I have to contact somebody else who then rings the ward. Now, the person I contact lives in London, who then has to ring up to the northeast to ring the ward to say, "Can you go and let your patient who is sectioned under Section 2 of the Mental Health Act into your hospital ward, please?" So she stood there and I'm on the phone. I said, "Anyone coming yet?" No. Good 10 minutes goes by, and all the time I've got to play the negotiator and keep her talking, keep her mind off the fact that she's going back in there. And then somebody called Gabriel appears, apparently, opens the door, lets her in. I said, "Are you in now?" And I said, put him on the phone. I said, "Is she in now? Is she safe?" "Yeah." I said, "Don't lose her again." And I hung up. The next day, I ring back and I say, "So what have they done? How are you stopped from going out now? You're not allowed any leave, as they call it." I can go out with a nurse, and I just thought, my God. Now, this is, by now, we're on Saturday, right? And I thought, my God, if she was a violent patient, if she was a patient, that had flipped and was violent, and luckily she's not. She's not like that at all. I can't tell you how I felt. Anyway, so then Saturday night happens, and I hold my peace. I hold my peace until I find out exactly what's gone on that train and who's done it. And then when it comes out, when the whole story comes out, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. Because people, when people are mentally unstable and even violent, and they go into these psych units, they're not given any therapy. They are given medication. And once that medication makes them seem fit to go into the community, they are booted out. Booted out. Just, "Oh yeah, the crisis team will come and visit you. Their mental health team will come and visit you," but they don't. Nobody turns up to go and visit them. Nobody bothers. These people are very angry. These people are very violent, and they're left to walk the streets. Now, people keep saying, "Oh, we need migrants because we need the NHS this and the NHS that." Really, really, I would say that From what I've learned over the last 3 years and from what I know, there needs to be a big overhaul when it comes to the mental health facilities in this country. And they need to start with having people that can at least understand one sentence of English clearly and who can at least speak one sentence of English clearly. Because they can't. They have no clue. They're basically in there to play being a nurse when, and hand out pills. And once those pills make the person more quieter or a little bit happy, they get kicked out the door. And this is why we've got so much violence on the streets, because no more, right, do people get put into psych units for, I don't know, 6 months, 7 months, and get deep therapy, everything they need to make them better again. That doesn't happen. It's like a revolving door. In, out, in, out. Oh dear, you're back again, right. In, out, we'll change tablets, right. In, out, in, out. Oh, you're sectioned, but we let you go wandering the streets. We will let you go into Tesco's whilst you are on a section. And you could be dangerous to the public. We are going to let you wander around and go into different places. And, well, as long as you're back here at a certain time, everything is just fucking fantastic. And I believe that animal that got on the train, right? I don't know. I haven't heard it said yet, right? But for people who are fed up, who say they're fed up of the mental health tag, right? Don't be. How do I put it here? Do not be dismissive of this mental health tag. It's a clear and present danger to us all, right? Because the mental health facilities are not good enough. The government know they're not good enough. And they need to change the rules. And of course, it's all. Do you know that somebody who's sectioned, right? So that means they're not in their right mind for some reason, has the right under the European Human Rights Bill to say what they think. Now, how does that make sense? How could that possibly make sense? It can't. It won't. It fucking doesn't. So when you hear, oh, it was a mental health, don't dismiss it. Don't dismiss it and go, no, I won't be happy unless it's terrorism of something. No, these people that are walking our streets, right, they are being let out. Oh yeah, you're all right, right? Take your tablets, take your meds, off you go, you're fine. But they're not fine. They're not fine. And the government are quite aware of this. The government are aware. And that's why they're trying to get the definition of terrorism like into different categories. So they can call it a terrorist attack if it's a mental health patient that's done it, you see. So once again, we're looking at the NHS mental health facilities, and we're also looking at the fucking government who know this is happening. It started with David Cameron when he brought in care in the community, and it's just got worse ever since. And since Starmer's been in, it's got out of hand. It's just gone right out of hand. I mean, why should the police have to play fucking social worker, mental health provider, right? When the very people who are meant to be looking after these people with mental health problems are in a hospital and can barely speak English, right? Don't know their arse from their fucking elbow and can't be bothered to move. They're not taking it seriously enough. And by people, I'm talking about doctors and psychiatrists. These are the people with the power to let a mental health patient out. These are the people who have to sign it off and let them out. These are the people who say, yes, you're sane. You can now go out into the community, buy a knife, get on a train and go and stab 10 people. Because you can guarantee that that person, that individual, is known to the mental health facilities. I can guarantee it. He will have some sort of mental health problem. And don't dismiss it. Don't just like kick it to the side and think, no, yeah, but no, it's a real problem in this country. A real problem. It doesn't matter why they've got mental health problems, right? Lots of people have mental health problems for different reasons. The fact is that we are being failed by the very people who are meant to keep us safe because they just want people in and out, in and out, to meet their quotas. The government are quite aware. That's why they want this different terrorist thing going on all the time. They want, like, I don't know, yeah, it's a terrorist attack because it was a mental health patient, because they know it's going to become more and more. It's a terrorist attack because it was an Islamist. It's a terror attack because it was the far right. But what they want in there, you can guarantee what they want in there, right? Because they've got no choice because of the state of the mental health facilities to have it in there that it can be deemed a terrorist attack because of a mental health crisis going on. This country no longer is safe. So I would say it's not safe because we're letting in people who are not right. Yeah, and they're going off to hotels and they're not right. Then they'll get put in these mental health facilities, and then after, I don't know, a week or so, they'll get deemed, right, you're fine, get out, off you go, you're fine. The mental health nurse or your crisis team will look after you. They don't care, they won't look after them. Then he'll go down the street and do some horrific act, and then, the government will act all shocked. No, the government know exactly what they're doing, right? They know exactly what's going on and they know exactly what they're doing. And I'm not going to shut up about this. It's been in my mind for a while. And when Saturday happened, I thought to myself straight away, I bet this is a mental health case, and I bet he's known to the psychiatrists of his local, wherever he is. And what do you know? Of no fixed abode, right? So you can guarantee he's been in and out of mental health facilities recently, given some sort of antipsychotics, antidepressants, God knows what, so that he looks half sane, when in fact he's not. The fact he was shouting that the devil's not going to win was a big red flag to me. The fact that he wanted to be killed, big red flag to me. To say this is a mental health patient. Don't get me wrong, I've got no sympathy for this person. I don't care. I don't care, mental health patient or not, I don't care. To me, right, the people, the doctors and the psychiatrists that are saying these people are sane enough to walk our streets, right, they need sacking. They need to be sacked, right? And proper doctors and psychiatrists need to come in, and the government need to stand up and say they can't cope, they don't really fucking care, and they know they're letting very dangerous people out into the streets who should be locked away. And when you're under a Section 2, don't worry, because you can still go out and wander around fucking Tesco's, where all the knives are, where you can buy this, you can buy that, you can wander around any shop, and you've got as much money as you want, and you can wander around. And that is my opinion on what happened on Saturday. And I've been seeing it coming for a while. It started with Southport when they absolutely refused. Well, it's not a terrorist attack as such. Terrorist attack. I thought, well, if it's not a terrorist attack, it is a terrorist attack. And then when Starmer started talking about, yeah, but we need to define a terror attack, I knew then, I thought, oh, yeah, because what he wants to do, he wants to get the mental health in there. He knows he has to do it. because they're failing. They're failing us all. None of us are safe. Don't think you're safe. You're not safe. Even if you're an illegal immigrant, you are not safe. No one in this country is safe because people walk among us that are not right. And the reason they walk among us, because they're not right, is down to the government, who employ these half-witted fucking doctors and psychiatrists, right? Who don't know what they're doing, do everything by the book and not by the... because you've got to understand, all mental health patients are not all criminally insane. Now, the person who did that on Saturday night, he'll now be deemed as criminally insane. But he won't be deemed criminally insane until he actually did something that made him criminally insane. Do you see? You've got to be made criminally insane. They got to say, well, now you've done that horrendous act, you are now criminally insane. So what I'm saying is, when you hear, oh, yeah, mental health, don't dismiss it. It's another thing you've got to start thinking about now. I'm sorry, it's another thing you've got to think about when you leave your home. Who's walking next to me? Because there's a lot of them. And the fact that someone that's sectioned can be let out of a hospital or go and disappear, and they don't flap. They ring you up and say, are they with you? Well, have you done anything to find them? Well, no, we don't know where they are. So yeah, that's just my little two penny. I just wanted to... It's been on my mind, and I've just rambled on. I'm not at home at the moment. I got all kinds of fucking things here that I don't want people to see, but yeah, I'll just put it there for the moment. Yeah, that's me done for now. I don't know what that says at the bottom. Welcome, live, yeah. But that's the way I see things. And Den Tarragon, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. Moon, you're a fucking idiot. What can I say? I can't say anything else than you're a fucking idiot. Both of you. Sad bastards. Oh, there's the claw moon. There's the claw moon, cunt.